Once again, welcome back to the chemistry session. And up to here, we have completed 3 units. Those are atomic structure, periodic classification of elements, and chemical bonding. Now, on the basis of these three chapters, now today we are going to discuss about another new chapter, that is carbon and its compounds. Actually, this lesson is from a special branch, that is organic chemistry. Organic chemistry. Organic chemistry is a branch of chemistry. So in chemistry we have different branches like physical chemistry, inorganic chemistry, general chemistry, like that. But here this chapter is from organic chemistry. Argon means that carbon. Carbon means that argon. Argon means that carbon. So that's why we are discussing about carbon and its compounds. It is also very important lesson. So it is also very basis, okay, for the 10th class, right? And here let us see first where we can find the carbon, right? So let me discuss about first the source. So where we can find the carbon. So in general, so daily we are taking food, right? So daily we are taking food. In our food, so we have proteins, vitamins, right? Carbohydrates, amino acids. In all these, okay, we have, so carbon is the key role. Carbon is playing a key role in that. So like that, so in food we are having carbon as the source. And after food we are using cloths, and here we are using cloths, right? Cloths are made up of polymers, right? Cloths are made up of polymers. In polymers we are having again carbon. And next, so fuels. In fuels, what are the fuels here? So petrol, diesel, kerosene, like that we are having so different fuels. In all those, only carbon is the element. So fuels are made up of hydrocarbons. So that's why fuels are also sources of carbon, right? And here next, cosmetics. Okay, right? So cosmetics, pharmaceuticals, like that. So we will have source. In almost in our daily life, so we cannot imagine without carbon, because in all living organisms we have carbon is the source, right? So that's why in living organisms, including me also, for example, our skin is made up of carbon. Like that we have a source. Okay, these are the main important sources of carbon and its compounds. Let us see the electronic structure of carbon. What is the electronic structure of the carbon? Electronic structure of the carbon, right? So if you want to study electronic structure of the carbon again, so first of all you have to know what is the atomic number of carbon again. So what is the atomic number of carbon here? So 6. Then, so can you write its electronic configuration? Okay, right? So it is 1s2, 2s2 and 2p2, right? 1s2, 2s2, 2p2. So let us represent in a shell manner. That is, suppose here we know that in previous classes we have learned that the atom contains nucleus. Around atom contains nucleus. Okay, nucleus. At center we have protons like this. We have protons, and this is protons. How many protons are present? Because atomic number is 6. Atomic number 6 means that 6 protons are present. 6 protons. Around. So 1 is 2. First shell is present. So this is, suppose, let it first shell. Around nucleus we have first shell. So this is 1 is 2. After that, second shell. So in second shell we have 2s and 2p. In second shell we have 2s and 2p. So second shell contain 2s and 2p, 2 here. So second shell contain. So total, so 4 valency electrons are present here. Along with that, so one more thing I would like to tell you. Along with 6 protons here, so there exist 6 neutrons. N naught means that 6 neutrons, which means that, okay, right? And 6 protons, 6 neutrons will give the mass number of carbon, right? So atomic number 6, but mass of carbon is equal to 12. How 12 has been Okay, so how 12 occurs here? So 6 protons plus 6 neutrons. So is nothing but 12, right? And next, so 4 valence electrons are present. And what is the special of carbon? So what is special? So how it is different when compared to other elements? How it is different, right? And here, how it is different? Because it has some properties. It has some special properties like that. For example, it has tetracovalency. It has tetracovalency. The carbon will exhibit tetracovalency property, right? And it can form catenation. It has the property of catenation. Okay, it can form polymers. Like I said before, it can form polymers. So it can exhibit isomers, which is called as isomerism, which is called as, it has allotropes. It has allotropes. So like that, it has different properties can be exhibited by the carbon. Let us see one by one first. So the first property is, so what is the meaning of tetracovalency, right? And what is the valency here? So what is the meaning of valency? So valency means that, I already told you, valency is nothing but combining capacity of an atom. So valency of carbon is always 4. Why 4? Valency of carbon is always 4. Why 4? Because, so in its valence shell, it has only 4 electrons. 2, total 4 electrons. So valency is 4. Valency 4 means that combining capacity is 4. Right? Combining capacity. What is meant by combining capacity? So with how many atoms? With how many atoms it can form bonds. So with how many? So a total of 4 bonds. So that's why valency 4. How can you say that? How can you say that the valency is 4? Why it is forming 4 bonds only? It doesn't form, so 2 bonds, either does it form 2 bonds or 6 bonds? But instead of that, why it is forming only just 4 bonds? Because, so if you want to understand that, so first of all you have to understand the concept of octet configuration. I already told you what is meant by octet. What is meant by octet? Octet means that last shell for any atom, if you take any atom, so last shell should accommodate 8 valence electrons. Should accommodate 8 valence electrons. So there is some exception for this, and of course there is some exception. So what is the exception here? Suppose if an atom having 2 electrons, then it is said to be duplet configuration. So octet or duplet, those are stable configurations. So where you can see duplet configuration? In the case of helium, for example, if you take helium, its atomic number 2, electronic configuration 2. So helium atom will satisfy only with 2 electrons. It doesn't need 8 electrons. It requires just only 2 electrons. Okay, but remaining atoms, it requires 8 electrons. In which shell? In last shell only. Only in last shell. Right? So that's why here I am telling that. Okay. So carbon atom requires 8 valence electrons. But actually carbon has 4 valence electrons. Last shell we have only 4 valence electrons. So for getting, so how it is stable? Either it is stable by 8 electrons or it is stable by 2 electrons. It has 2 chances. For example, let us just imagine, so carbon is going to take 4 electrons. Why? Because it has 4 valence electrons in its last shell. It requires 4 electrons to attain 8 valence electrons. For example, suppose just imagine carbon is taking 4 electrons. The first case is 4 electrons are gaining. If carbon gaining 4 electrons, if any atom, if it is gaining electrons, always requires negative charge line. So that's why, so here, if a carbon gaining 4 electrons, then so it will become C4 minus. Which means that after taking 4 electrons, how many electrons are present in carbon? After taking 4 electrons, already 2 electrons present in first shell. So next 4 electrons present. So total 2 plus 4, 6 electrons. Now again it is taking 4 electrons total. So 10 electrons. So 10 electrons present here. So this is one case. Why it is getting 4 electrons instead of that? Why it has to and again it will be stabilized by the duplet configuration. Suppose in second case, just imagine carbon is going to lose, okay, going to lose 4 electrons. If it is losing 4 electrons, then so it has positive charge. Then we can write C4 plus. C4 plus means that 4 electrons has been lost by the carbon atom. 4 minus means that 4 electrons gained by the carbon atom. So if it is gaining 4, if it is losing 4 electrons, then how many electrons are present in carbon atom? There are only 2 electrons are present. But if you see here, these two are not favorable conditions. These two are feasible. These are not favorable conditions. Why these are not favorable conditions? Let us see. If it is gaining 4 electrons here, let us see what is happening. C4 minus. Actually, see in carbon how many positive units are present? I already just tell you 6 protons are present in nucleus around it. So 1s2, around it 1s2 and around it 2s2, 2p2 means that so 6 protons are present. But if it is taking 4 electrons, total 10 electrons. But how a 6 protons can hold the entire 10 electrons is a question mark. Why? Because carbon is a less electronegative element. Its electronegativity is just 2.5. Moreover that, so there are only 6 positive charge here. So 6 and negative charge. Negative charge means that electrons are carrying negative charge. In total we have 10 electrons. 6 protons cannot hold 10 electrons. That's why this case is wrong. In the same manner, suppose so if it is losing 4 electrons here, suppose these electrons are lost by, but this is very difficult task. Why? Because if it is want to be lose 4 electrons, it requires a lot of energy. It requires, that is we are calling ionization energy. It requires 4 ionization energies. IE1, IE2, IE1, IE2 and so on up to IE4. So because it needs, so if you want to do that, it requires a lot of energy. So this is also not correct to give up 4 electrons. So from this we can simply understand that carbon will never lose 4 electrons. Carbon will never take 4 electrons. So that's why what is, but how carbon is forming 4 bonds? Because so by sharing of electrons only, it has only one choice, that is by sharing of electrons only. So from this you have to understand that sharing of electrons, right? Sharing of electrons. By sharing electrons only, it can form 4 bonds like this. Right? So what is sharing of electrons? In a chemical bonding, I already told you. To make you understand, suppose let me take the formation of H2 molecule. The formation of H2 molecule. If you take H2 molecule here, so hydrogen, 2 hydrogen atoms, and the atomic number of hydrogen is 1, which means that it has 1 valence electron. It has 1 valence electron, right? And here, these valence electrons, let me represent it with the Lewis symbols, that is dot or cross mark. Suppose we have 2 electrons here. Now hydrogen is going to share. So hydrogen is having only 1 valence electron. If it is taking 1 valence electron, then it has 2 electrons. A total of 2 electrons. By taking 2 electrons, so it will get a duplet configuration. So hydrogen will be stabilized by the duplet configuration. So that's why, so hydrogen is telling that I just want to share my valence electrons with you. In the same manner, here this hydrogen is also telling that my valence electrons will share with you. So that's why what is happening here? So these two are shared together. When these two are sharing, then there is a bond formation here. So this bond is formed by the sharing of electrons. And here we can say that how many total electrons? So mutual sharing of 2 electrons. So mutual sharing of 2 electrons will lead to the bond between hydrogen and hydrogen. Okay, right? Next, which means that after sharing, these 2 electrons belong to both atoms. Remember, after sharing of electrons, these 2 electrons belong to so both atoms. In the same manner, suppose let us see the formation of N2. So N2 means that how many nitrogens are present here? Total 2 nitrogens are present, and you can represent like that. And we know that atomic number of nitrogen, okay, 7, and here atomic number of nitrogen 7, and here how many valence electrons it is present, right? So there are 5 valence electrons are present. So atomic number 7, which means that 1s2, 2s2, right? And so 2p3. A total 5 valence electrons are present, and here I am representing like this, okay, right? And here, suppose these two are valence electrons, 1, 2, 3, total 5. And here, similarly, if you take another nitrogen atom here, again it has 2 valency, 2, 3, 4, and 5, right? And here cross marks indicating again Lewis symbols. Now here, nitrogen is telling that, okay, I have 3 valence electrons to share, and I have 3 valence electrons to share with you. Now, if these 2 electrons are shared together, there is a 1 bond formation. If these 2 electrons are shared together, there is a 1 bond formation. If these 2 electrons are shared together, again there is a 1 more bond formation, which means that, so in total it requires, so already having 5 electrons here, it just requires only 3 electrons. Already nitrogen is having 5 electrons, but it requires 3 electrons to attain octet of configuration. So that's why these 3 electrons can be shared by one nitrogen atom, and these 3 electrons are shared by another nitrogen atom. So that's why nitrogen can form a triple bond. In the same manner, carbon is also forming, okay, bonds with but by sharing, and those bonds are called covalent bonds. Those bonds are called covalent bonds, and carbon is always forming covalent bond. Why? Because carbon is a non-metal. Carbon is a non-metal. Carbon is a non-metal and belongs to 4k group. And belongs to 4k group. So that's why we are giving the title tetracovalency. Tetracovalency. To understand that, again, let us take the formation of methane. Let us see the formation of methane. So this is the name of this one, methane. The name of this one, methane, right? And here, if you can observe, so around carbon atom, 4 hydrogen atoms are present, right? And here, let us see the carbon electronic configuration, 2, 4. If you take hydrogen electronic configuration, only 1s1. So 1 means that 1s1. Now here, okay, how many valence electrons are present for carbon atom? Again, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I am representing with the dots or with cross marks. Either symbols you have to use. Those symbols are called as Lewis symbols, right? So carbon requires 4 electrons, and 4 electrons are given by the 4 hydrogen atoms. So here 1 hydrogen is approaching, here 1 hydrogen is approaching, here 1 hydrogen is approaching, here 1 more hydrogen is approaching. And hydrogen has just only 1 electron. So to make you understand, here I am representing with the cross mark. It has 1 electron, it has 1 electron, it has 1 electron. Now, so here, so these two are shared together, and here it can form a bond like this. Sorry. Okay, right? And here, carbon has 4 valence electrons, and here we have 1 valence electron. So electron shared together, and electron shared together, electron shared together, electron shared together. Now if you can see, along with these 4 electrons, so 4 electrons are coming from hydrogen atom, extra 4 electrons, right? And here, so these 2 electrons belonging to both hydrogen and carbon. So hydrogen is stabilized by the 2 electrons, which is we can call duplet configuration, whereas carbon is stabilized by the 8 electrons, which is we are calling octet of configuration. So like that, it can form a bond like this. These 2 electrons can form a bond like this, and a bond like this, and a bond like this, and a bond like this. So like that. So sharing of electrons will lead to the how many bonds present here? So total 4 covalent bonds. 4 covalent bonds. Why it is forming 4 covalent bonds? Because it is a non-metal. Right? So like that, it is forming 4 covalent bonds. But here I got some doubt. Why it is forming 4 bonds? How it is possible? If you study its electronic configuration, you should have one doubt. For example, I am studying its electronic configuration. what I am telling is carbon can form only two. What I am telling that carbon can form only two covalent bonds. Is it clear or true? Just study its electronic configuration. So that is so 2 comma 4, which means that 2 means 1s2 and 4 means 2s2, 2p2. Okay. To make you understand, here I am representing with box method. 1s2 means that box means orbital. Box means orbital. In this box, 1s2 means 2 electrons are present. These are donor electrons. It doesn't participate in chemical bonding. And 2s2 means that. So a total having 2 paired electrons here. 2p2 means that p orbital having 3 boxes, and here 1, 2 only. And if you can see this, only these 2 electrons must participate in chemical bonding. But so these are already paired up. These are already paired up. These should not be involved in chemical bonding. So because now there is availability of 2 electrons only. With those 2 electrons, it can form only 2 bonds. But instead of that, how it is forming 4 bonds? How it is forming 4 bonds? So that was explained by the valency bond theory. That was explained by the. When carbon is approaching 4 hydrogen atoms, what is happening? Carbon is undergo excited state. Which means that when 4 bonds are coming, it releases some amount of energy. By using that energy, one of the electron from 2s orbital will jump into the 2p orbital, and here we have 2p2 here, we have 2p orbital, and here we have 2s. Why it is jumping from 2s to 2p2? Why not from 1s to 2p2? Because from 1s to 2p the distance is more, the energy gap is more, so it doesn't jump. But 2s and 2p are present in the same cell. If you see here 1s2, if you see here 2s to 2p2, and those two are present in the same shell, so which means that the energy gap is very small. If energy gap is very small, it's very easy to jump from 2s to 2p2. So that's why. So carbon is going to. So this is ground state configuration. What is it? So this is ground state electronic configuration. But so what is its excited state electronic configuration? 1s2, 2s1, 2p3. This is its excited state. E means that excited state electronic configuration. So how can you write 2s1 like this? How can you write 2p3 like this? Like this we can write 2p3. Now a total of 4 unpaired electrons. A total of 4 unpaired electrons. Okay, 4 unpaired electrons will lead to the formation of 4 covalent bonds. That's why it is forming 4 covalent bonds. Now again I got one more doubt here, right? And here, are these 4 bonds are equal or not equal? What do you say? Are these 4 bonds are equal or not equal? These 4, what I am telling, these 4 bonds are not equal. For example, why? Because here, suppose it has 1 electron, and from hydrogen it is taking 1 more electron, and another hydrogen again giving 1 more electron. Here. So 4 electrons are sharing. 4 electrons are sharing like this, right? So 4 hydrogens. And here, this bond is between 2s and 1s, and these 3 bonds are between 2p and 1s, which means that among 4 bonds, so one bond formation is between s and so p orbital, that is so s and p orbital, and this is also s and p orbital, this is also s and p orbital, but one bond is between ss, which means that so so one bond formation is due to ss overlapping, and remaining 3 bond forms are due to so sp bond. Then how bond lengths will be equal? How bond lengths will be equal? So bond lengths will be different. But if you think like this, it is completely wrong answer, right? It is completely wrong answer. But so after complete analysis in carbon, so 4 bonds are equal. 4 bonds are equal, and the bond angle is 109 degrees 28 minutes. The bond angle, it has only one bond angle, that is 109 degrees 28 minutes, which means that it is indicating that 4 bonds are equal. Then how it is possible? It was explained by the concept of hybridization. Correct? How different these are, having different energies, you know. So SS bond having different energy and sp having different energy, but four different bonds will form same bonds will have equal energy. Same bonds will have equal energy. How it is possible? So that was explained by the concept of hybridization, right? Concept of hybridization. And here, so what is meant by hybridization? What is meant by hybridization? When two atomic orbitals are combined together, suppose if you take two atomic orbitals, if you combine those, you will get new atomic orbitals, new orbitals which are called as hybrid orbitals. For example, suppose here I am taking atomic orbitals. I am taking atomic orbitals and so mixing. If you mixing, then you will get new orbitals. Those are called as hybrid orbitals. For example, if you want to prepare a juice like this, suppose I want to prepare a banana juice. What I need? So 2 bananas I will use, sugar I will use, milk I will use. But finally I got one banana juice having equal portions. But I have taken so different things there. In the same manner, so what we are taking atomic orbitals, when you mix, you will get different orbitals. Those we are calling hybrid orbitals. And here, suppose if I mix one s orbital and 3 p orbitals, total how many mixing? One s orbital and 3 p orbitals. And here one condition is how many you are mixing? The same number you will get. Okay. So here I am mixing total 4 hybrid atomic orbitals. I will get 4 hybrid orbitals and 3. So how many sp3 hybrid orbitals are present? How many you are mixing? 1 plus 3. So total 4 sp3 hybrid orbitals. In the same manner, suppose if you take one s orbital and if you mix 2 p orbitals, then you will get 1 plus 2. Total 3 sp2 hybrid orbitals you will get, okay, as hybrid orbitals. And if you mix one s orbital and 1 p orbital, so total how many we are mixing? 2. So 2 sp hybrid orbitals we are mixing. These are new orbitals. And they are equal in energy. They can form equal bonds. They can form bonds with equal energy. So these are called as hybrid orbitals. Let us see again the formation. For example, for sp3 hybridization, the best example is CH4. For sp2 hybridization, the best example is C2H4. And for sp hybridization, the best example C2H2. Okay, this is called as ethane, this is called as acetylene, this is called as methane. Let us see first. For example, if you can see the formation of CH4 here, right? Once again, let us see the CH4 formation here and here. Carbon again. So electronic configuration. What is the electronic configuration? 1s2, 2s2, 2p2. Remember, these two electrons will not participate in bonding. Why? Because they are inner seed electrons. But these are valence electrons. They only will participate. 2s2. How can you write in a box method? 2s2 like this and 2p2 like this. 2p2 like this. Now here, so I am mixing 2s and 2p. 2p2. 2p2 means that 2px, 2py and 2pz. Correct? X, Y, Z. A total 3 orbitals. Now I am mixing these orbitals. So 2 indicates second shell. 2 indicates only second shell. If I mix these two, I will get, so 1s and 3p orbitals are mixing. Total I will have sp3 hybrid orbitals. How many are mixing? The same number I will get. Right? So this is. And here, so the resulting sp3 hybrid orbital will have new shape. So which means that, for example, if you take s orbital like this, if you take the shape of p orbital like this, but when you mix these two orbitals mixed together, then you will get a different orbital, that is sp3. And the shape of sp3 hybrid orbital is having like this. So this is sp3 hybrid orbital. This is the shape of sp3. So such kind of sp3 hybrid orbitals are how many? So 4 sp3 hybrid orbital. For example, so this is one sp3 hybrid orbital, and this is another sp3 hybrid orbital, and this is another sp3 ground state configuration, but if you take excited configuration, so one of the electron will jump into the 2pz orbital. So then a total 4 electrons. So no worry about its valency electrons. After mixing, after attaining sp3 hybrid orbitals, in those these electrons are equally shared. So total how many valency electrons are present? 4 valency electrons are present. So this sp3 hybrid orbital will take one valency electron. This is sp3. Remember, this is also take another. This is also take another. This is also. So remember, this is sp3. This is sp3. This is also sp3 hybrid orbital. Now, so how many hydrogens are present to bond with carbon atom? 4 hydrogen atoms. And what is the shape of hydrogen electronic configuration 1s1? S orbital shape, spherical. S orbital shape, spherical. Now, in spherical we have one valence electron is present. Now, so hydrogen is coming with one valence electron. This is S orbital of hydrogen atom. It is having one valence electron. Similarly, one more hydrogen atom here. One more hydrogen atom will approach the carbon with its valence electrons, and those two are shaped together. This is by another hydrogen atom, and one more hydrogen atom like this, and one more hydrogen atom like this. Right? And here you can see this. Now, a total four are only just sp3 hybrid orbitals. They will have equal energy. They are in equal energy. Which means that it can form a tetra covalency. It can form a tetra covalency, and the shape of the molecule is tetrahedral. The shape of the molecule is tetrahedral. Right? You can see. Sure. Now, so between any two hydrogen atoms, the bond angle is just only 1 of 9 degrees. 1 of 9 degrees. 28 minutes. 1 of 9 degrees. 28 minutes. Like that. So what I am telling, so 4 bonds are equal in energy. So like that, 4 unequal bonds. 4 unequal means that they are having different energy. As per BBD theory, they are having different energy, but as per hybridization, they are having same energy. Like that, it is forming 4 bonds. Not only this one. Okay, right? So are 4 bonds only single bonds, or carbon can form any other bonds? Yes, some more bonds. For example, if you take one more molecule, suppose if you take one more molecule, that is, we know that the formation of carbon dioxide, you can see in our surroundings we will have carbon dioxide formation. So how carbon forms CO2, right? And here, carbon having 2 valence electrons, 4 valence electrons like this, 2 here, total 4 valence electrons. And here I am writing one oxygen atom, here I am writing another oxygen atom. And what is the electronic configuration of oxygen? Oxygen atomic number 6, and 1s2, 2s2, 2p4. These are inner core electrons will not participate in chemical bonding, but these are only participating in chemical bonding. A total 2 plus 4, 6 valence electrons. And how can you write 6 valence electrons? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And here also 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 5, 6 here. So carbon require again at 8 electrons. Now it is taking 2 electrons from one oxygen atom. Total 4 electrons here, right? So these 4 belongs to this atom and this atom. Oxygen requires how many? Already it is having 6 valence electrons. It requires 2 electrons. That's why it is seeking 2 electrons from carbon atom. Similarly here also. When these two are connect together, when these two are approach together, shared together, there is a one covalent bond. When these two are shared together, there is a one more covalent bond. Like this here also, which means that so around carbon atom, the carbon dioxide structure is always C double bond O, C double bond O. Total 4 covalent bonds are present among these. So this one is sigma bond, this one is pi bond. This one is pi bond, we know that. And here also this one is sigma bond, this one is also pi bond. And here you can see this. So here you can see only single bonds, but here only double bonds. Here we have only. So carbon can form single bonds, carbon can form double bond, carbon can also form double bond and single bond. For example, if you take the structure of C double bond O here, and here H, this is formaldehyde, and you see, so double bond, one double bond, this is 2 single bonds, like that. It is also forming triple bonds. If you see HC triple bond N, hydrogen cyanide, and if you see triple bond, carbon can form triple bond, at the same time carbon can form 4 single bonds, carbon can form 2 double bonds, carbon can form 2 double bonds and 2 single bonds, carbon can form 1 single bond and 3 triple bonds like that. Like that it can form enormous compounds. So that's why it is very very important. So how a double bond is formed? Okay, how a double bond is formed in next class we will explain about okay how the double bond formation takes place by taking ethene as the molecule. Hope you can understand. So be focused. Why? Because carbon chemistry is organic chemistry, so very difficult to understand, but it's very easy. Okay, if you listen, if you focus more, then it's very easy rather than any other topic.